What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Now, as promised, in today's video we'll be covering TOEFL independent writing. So please take out your notebooks, grab your writing utensils, and get ready to take some outstanding notes. Now, I'm really pumped up for today's video because one of our lovely subscribers provided me with a really challenging essay topic. So I'm very excited to share with you a sample essay that I've prepared for today's video. So guys, pay extra close attention to this. Pause the video as soon as the topic pops up on the computer screen, and be sure to only look at the topic and don't look ahead, okay? So try not to take a peek at my opinion, and give yourself about 2 or 3 minutes to brainstorm before I start reading out loud my sample essay. All right? So now let's go over to my computer and take a look at my sample essay. All right, so let's take a look at today's essay topic. Now, keep in mind, I want you guys to study my sample essay. Please, pretty please, study it. Try to imagine why I decided to write an essay in this fashion, and try to emulate it if you, by any chance, like the way I write, okay? All right, so the essay topic is, many people think that young people today are too materialistic or money-oriented and do not think about being charitable or giving to others. Do you agree or disagree? Now, I'm gonna agree with this essay topic, okay? Now, in the introduction paragraph, let's start reading from Even Though. Even though some may adamantly believe that young people have never been more charitable than they are today, I strongly think such opinion lacks coherence to some extent. So, young people have never been more charitable than they are today was the complete sentence for the opposing thesis. In my humble opinion, a greater proportion of children and teenagers in the 21st century are materialistic and do not prioritize being charitable to others for the following reasons. Right, now on to the first body. First and foremost, the majority of individuals would agree with the notion that we now live in a society that's driven by money and technology. The main reason behind this rationale is that a mixed economy, which is now the most prevalent form of economy in the world, only permits people with finances to purchase the products and services they desire or need. In other words, individuals of all ages have slowly but surely become more materialistic and obsessed with cash as time passed. To illustrate more thoroughly, my cousin is currently 14 years old, and I'm honestly baffled by some of the conversations we have. More often than not, I feel as if I were having a pleasant interaction with my younger cousin who's just like his peers. However, from time to time, he says certain things that catch me completely off guard and appears to be a person that's much more mature and aware of the harsh realities of life. I recently found out that Billy wanted to become an anesthesiologist when he grows up. I assumed that Billy would want to work in the medical field with intentions to treat the ill and take care of patients. However, he told me that he wanted to focus on anesthesia because doing so is obviously the most lucrative decision. He then went on to talk about how he wants to drive a better car than his father and live in a bigger house than that of one of his friends. All in all, we can't and shouldn't overlook the fact that young people are now more drawn to materialistic goods and thus prioritize the pursuit of making more money. Okay, so this example was completely fabricated. I don't have a younger cousin named Billy, and I've never had a conversation like this with anyone who's 14 years old, but I imagined what kind of conversation I might have with a teenager these days, and this happened to be one of the made-up situations that popped into my mind, so I decided to put it in words. Okay, now let's move on to the second body. On top of this, the social pressure and standards that kids these days must live up to prevent them from focusing on being charitable to others. In the eyes of many people in present-day society, the safest way to achieving great success is to graduate from a prestigious university with an outstanding grade point average. Needless to say, most, if not all, students in our generation are pushed beyond their limits to get stellar grades in every class they take and to participate in as many extracurricular activities as possible. A great example of this would be the ruthless daily schedule of most teenagers with tiger moms. These young people, who are both the victims and the beneficiaries of tiger parenting, get up in the early hours of the morning to go to school and typically go to bed after midnight every single day. For these students, getting straight A's is the norm, and anything below it is a failure, a mindset that originates from the dog-eat-dog world we currently reside in. Nevertheless, since competition has become unbelievably fierce and the spots available in prestigious universities have never been more scarce, young people in today's society are obligated to take part in various academic competitions and other extracurricular activities, including but not limited to the Model United Nations, sports, and music. Therefore, youngsters nowadays rarely have a chance to think about sparing their own time for others simply because they don't have enough spare time to give. Long story short, it's clear as day to me that the lifestyles of most young people in today's world hinder them from being charitable to others. Okay, so since I wrote a first example in the first body paragraph that's subjective because it's based on my cousin, who's my family member, I decided to write an example that's more neutral, that's more objective. It's about a situation, a phenomenon that's common in today's world. All right, so if one of your examples is kind of subjective because it's a story about yourself or a person you know, make sure that the other example is not the same type, because then your entire essay might feel more subjective than it is objective, which is, in my opinion, not the better choice. All right, please read the conclusion paragraph at your own convenience. And now let's move on to the last cut. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you guys enjoyed the sample essay. If you did, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you still have not done so, share the content with your close friends and family members if they need the extra assistance, but most importantly, if you are a self-disciplined and dedicated person, reach out to me about my tutoring services. Let's get the score that you deserve and need as quickly as possible. The next video will be covering TOEFL integrated writing, so if integrated writing is something that's hard for you, stay tuned and be sure to check out the next video. Peace!